The Howling is a werewolf film directed by famed Gremlins director Joe Dante, starring Dee Wallace, released in 1981. The last time I watched this film was probably around 6 to 7 years ago, and at the time I did not like it. I've gone the last 6 or 7 years of my life hearing people talk about how The Howling is one of the greatest werewolf films, only behind American Werewolf in London, which, going into this viewing, is the film I considered my favorite werewolf film. However, on a rewatch, I gotta say that I might like The Howling more. The Howling is about a news reporter who, in the process of stopping a person who they had assumed was just simply a serial killer, developed PTSD and was sent to a colony to rehabilitate through the advice of her doctor, who happened to be a werewolf. Everyone in the colony, for the most part, happened to be a werewolf, and they were essentially just luring her there, like it was the Wicker Man with the rednecks instead of folklore people. Um, and comparing this film to American Werewolf in London, which is the best thing for me to compare it to, because I haven't seen too many werewolf films. I've seen The Wolfman, I've seen Dog Soldiers, I've seen Bad Moon and Wolf Cop, and American Werewolf in London, which that list might actually be the extent of my knowledge on werewolf films. So when I say something is my favorite werewolf movie, yes, I've seen essentially, with the exception of like Company of Wolves and a couple other werewolf films, I've seen all of the ones that are considered hugely important. However, I don't have that much experience with the genre. I am interested in continuing to watch more and more werewolf movies this year. It's a subgenre of horror that I want to become more knowledgeable on. Um, but in comparison to American Werewolf in London, which I now think I like this film more, the werewolf transformation scenes are not as good. The transformation scenes in London are seamless. They are some of the best visual effects you're ever going to see put to film. However, the werewolf action itself is few and far between in that film. That film is more about atmosphere and feeling and setting and stuff. And because of that, it's not as well paced, in my opinion, as The Howling. I think The Howling lends itself far greater to a casual viewing, a repeat viewing, and I think that in general, the story, though it's nothing incredible, it's nothing new or groundbreaking, is it's a little bit more interesting when you're just looking at the story itself and the setting. You know, it is like Wicker Man, but with werewolves. And the real interesting aspect of comparing The Howling to American Werewolf in London, to me, is the type of horror. Though they are both werewolf films, American Werewolf in London, you are primarily watching a man go through the horrifying transformation of becoming a werewolf, whereas you're dealing with, in The Howling, you're dealing with Dee Wallace's character coming to find out that the colony that she is now staying in for however long is inhabited by werewolves. Her husband has become a werewolf. He's become a werewolf and cheated on her with another werewolf, which adds a whole another facet to the film with marriage issues and the shitty romance. It's not shitty in the fact that it was written shittily. It's shitty in the fact that they do not have a good love life. But you're dealing with one of the scariest things that can happen in horror, which is somebody who's stuck in a situation, surrounded by people who are in on the horror that is happening. In The Wicker Man, it's a colony of people that lured this guy in there, and they have these rituals and they sacrifice people. And in this, it's a colony full of werewolves, and there's no escaping it. That is, although I don't get scared by horror films, the idea of being stuck in a community of people that are in on something horrific, but you cannot get out and you are just at their mercy, is a horrifying idea. And if I was a kid, this film would probably scare me more than something like An American Werewolf in London. So in terms of operating as a horror film, I think that it is more horrifying in the sense that there is a bigger threat to the viewer than An American Werewolf in London. So yeah, these are just my general thoughts. I didn't really want to go super into it. Mainly because my camera is actually running out of camera space for some reason, which I gotta fix, I guess. So I only have a couple minutes, but I do intend on watching more of the Howling films, and I do want to watch the entire series, which was the main catalyst for me deciding to rewatch this today. So I guess I should give it a rating out of 5. If I were going to give it a rating out of 5, I would honestly give this a 5. Going into the viewing, I would have probably given it a 2 based on my memory. However, this is a fantastic film. I previously owned it, and I wish that I had never gotten rid of it, and I'll probably seek it out again at some point. And hopefully, I'll be doing a Howling 2 review in the next couple weeks or something, or maybe I'll do a ranking of the entire series. But I love this movie. If you are interested in werewolf movies, maybe you've seen American Werewolf in London, maybe you've seen Dog Soldiers or The Wolf Man, and you are wanting to watch another horror film, another werewolf movie, and maybe you like The Gremlins, and you just want to watch another Joe Dante movie, I would recommend watching The Howling. It's fantastic. I'm going to watch all the sequels now, do it a ranking, and yeah, so expect one of those videos to come up on this channel.